There is a variable in tattooing that ruins almost more lines than anything else that exists. Almost nobody teaches it, almost nobody knows that it exists. And once you understand it, you'll realise that most of your line work failures were never caused by your hand at all. I want to spend the next 10 minutes or so walking you through what this variable is, why it operates the way it does, and what you can do about it. By the end of this video, you will have a new way of seeing your own work. You'll be able to look at a tattoo line and identify with precision whether this variable was being controlled or whether it was being completely ignored. And you'll understand why so many beginning artists spend months trying to improve the lines and never make any real progress. Let me start with the foundation of the argument, because everything else in this video depends on you getting this one concept right. Most beginners think of skin as a flat, fixed surface. They think of it in a way they think of paper or canvas or a smooth tabletop. Something solid, something stable, something that holds still whilst you work on it. This mental model is completely wrong. And the fact that it is wrong is the reason most beginners cannot understand why the lines are failing. Skin is not a fixed surface. Skin is elastic, living tissue. It has its own give, it has its own tension, it has its own movement. When you press it, it compresses. When you release the pressure, it rebounds. When a tattoo needle strikes it at a high speed, it does what any elastic surface does under repeated impact. It bounces. This single fact that skin is elastic and bounces under impact is the foundation of everything that I'm about to explain. If you do not absorb this, the rest of the video will not make sense. So let me say that again. Skin is not paper, skin moves. Now let's get into the mechanical heart of the problem. I want you to picture what is actually happening when a tattoo needle strikes the skin. A standard tattoo machine cycles its needle at somewhere between 60 and 150 times per second, depending on the setup. That means that the needle is moving down into the skin, then back up between 60 and 150 times every single second. Each one of those movements is a strike. Each one of those strikes is supposed to deposit ink at a specific, consistent depth within the skin. That consistency of depth is what produces a clean, consistent line. Here is what actually happens in the real world. The needle moves down, it strikes the surface of the skin. The skin, being elastic, compresses to absorb the impact. The needle penetrates to a certain depth. Ink is deposited. The needle then retracts. The skin, having been compressed, now rebounds. It bounces back upwards. That whole cycle has just taken roughly 1/100th of a second, and now the needle is coming back down again. But here is the critical point. When the needle strikes the skin on the second cycle, the skin is not in the same position it was for the first cycle. It is somewhere in its rebound motion. It might be part way through, bouncing upwards. It might be at the top of the bounce. It might be on its way back down. Whichever position it happens to be in, that position determines how deeply the needle penetrates on the second strike. So the depth of penetration on cycle 2 is different from cycle 1. Then the needle retracts. The skin rebounds again, slightly different than before. The needle comes back down again on cycle 3 and strikes the skin in yet another position. So cycle 3's depth is different again, and so on. This is repeated 100 times a second for the entire length of the line that you're tattooing. 100 different depths in rapid succession, all along a line that was supposed to be consistent. The line itself reflects all of this. It looks inconsistent in saturation, it looks inconsistent in width. It looks like the artist's hand was unsteady when in fact the artist's hand may have been perfectly still. The hand was never the problem. The skin's bounce was the problem. This is the part that, in my experience, most beginners genuinely struggle to accept the first time that they hear it. They have spent so long believing that their hand is the cause of their inconsistent lines. They cannot imagine the cause is something that they never even knew was happening. But once they understood that the bounce mechanism, you cannot understand it. You will watch your own work, slow it down in your head, and realise that the inconsistencies in your lines were almost never the result of a movement that you made. They were the result of the skin moving beneath you, faster than you can even see, while you held perfectly still. So that is the problem. Now let's talk about the solution. Once you understand the bounce, the solution becomes obvious. But I want to be careful with my language here, because most people who teach this concept oversimplify it, and the oversimplification can mislead you. Stretching the skin does not stop the bounce. It's an impossible task, it cannot do it. Skin is elastic by nature. It will always have some give, some compression, some rebound. No amount of tension that you apply with your stretching hand is going to turn human skin into a rigid surface. That is not what the stretch is doing. What the stretch is doing is making the bounce as uniformed as possible. The skin still moves under the needle, but if the tension is consistent, the skin moves at the same amount in the same way every single cycle. The bounce becomes predictable. It becomes the same bounce repeated 100 times per second instead of 100 different bounces. And uniformity is what consistency actually means. The depth of the needle penetration is not zero variation. It is small variation repeated identically. The line is not perfect, but the line is consistent. And consistency in tattooing is everything. We are never going to fully eliminate the variable. We're trying to make the variable as small and as predictable as humanly possible. That is a realistic target. Anyone who tells you otherwise has not thought about it mechanically. 3-point stretch applied correctly with the stretching hand holds the skin in this consistent state for the entire length of the line. The full mechanical detail of how to apply that stretch, the angles, the finger placement, the amount of tension, lives inside our courses. I cover it properly in the fundamentals of tattooing, because it is the kind of technique that needs to be demonstrated rather than just described. If you want to learn it all in detail, the link is somewhere below, it'll be in the description somewhere. But understand the principle. Even before you have ever learned the technique, consistent stretch, same tension throughout, same bounce throughout, same depth throughout. Now, there is a second application of this principle that I want you to pay attention to, because it explains a problem most beginners do not realise is connected to the stretch at all. When you are tattooing a solid saturated line, the kind of line where you go over the same path multiple times to build density and weight, maintaining the same stretch across every pass is equally as important as it is for a single clean line. Probably more important, in fact, and here's why. Each pass over the line is depositing ink at a specific depth, governed by the same bounce mechanism that we've already discussed. If your stretch is consistent on pass 1, the depth is consistent across that path and the ink is laid evenly. But if your stretch slips by the time you make pass 2, the skin is now bouncing differently. The depth of the second pass is different. The ink is being deposited in a slightly different layer than the first pass. And by pass 3, the stretch has changed again. You have 3 different layers of ink, all of which are supposed to be the same. The visible result, once the tattoo is healed, is a saturated line that looks uneven, patchy in places, heavier in some spots than others. The artist looks at it and wonders why the saturation is inconsistent, even though they went over the line 3 times. The answer is almost always the same answer. Their stretch was not the same on every pass. The principle in both cases is identical. Consistent stretch produces consistent bounce. Consistent bounce produces consistent depth, as long as the hand is obviously in the correct place. Consistent depth produces consistent ink deposit. Whether you're pulling a single clean line or building a saturated one, the mechanic underneath is the same. That is why stretch is not a technique that you learn once and just forget. It is, however, a discipline that you maintain for the entire duration of the line, every pass, every piece of work that you'll ever do. Now, I want to give you something practical that you can use immediately. A way to look at your own work and anyone else's work and identify whether stretch was being maintained or whether it has been failing. I call this the diagnostic signature of stretch failure. Alright, tongue twister. And once you know what to look for, you will see it everywhere. When stretch fails, it almost always fails in the same way. The artist starts the line with the hand in a good position, the stretching fingers in place, the skin held under good tension. The line begins, the first inch or so looks clean. Then, somewhere in the middle of that line, the artist's stretching hand subtly relaxes. It might be because they were concentrating on the path, it might be because the wrist is tired, it might be because they were repositioning themselves slightly. It could be one of 100 things, but the stretch slips. The skin tension changes. The bounce of the skin changes. The depth of penetration, therefore, changes. And the middle section of the line looks fuzzy or patchy or grey. Then, often the artist notices something is going wrong and instinctively regrips with the stretching hand. The tension is restored. The bounce becomes consistent again. The last portion of the line cleans up. The finished line, healed, has a recognisable signature. Clean at the start, fuzzy or troubled in the middle, clean at the end. That signature is one of the most common patterns in beginner tattoo work, and almost nobody can explain why it happens. Now you can. You can look at the line and tell with mechanical precision exactly what went wrong. The artist's hand was steady. The artist's machine was all running correct. The artist's grip was probably fine. What failed was their stretch. In the middle of the line, the skin bounced differently for the time it took them to recover. This diagnostic ability is one of the most powerful tools that you can have as a developing tattoo artist, because the moment you can identify the cause of a problem, you can fix it. You can look at your own work, identify where your stretch slipped, and then consciously practice maintaining tension through an entire length of a line on your next attempt. The artist who improves fastest are the ones who can diagnose their own failures within this kind of precision. The artists who plateau are the ones who keep blaming the hands for things that the hand never did. I want to leave you with this wider thought on the topic, because I think this video is about more than just the stretch. Stretch is the single most underestimated skill within tattooing, in my opinion. And the reason it is underestimated is that it is invisible. Nobody ever looks at a beautiful heel tattoo and says, wow, what an amazing stretch. They say, wow, what an amazing line work, or wow, what beautiful saturation. But the line work and the saturation only exist because the stretch was doing its job silently underneath the work. A great stretch is invisible. A bad stretch leaves a signature on the finished piece. It's why almost nobody teaches stretch properly. It is an unglamorous thing to teach. It is unglamorous to learn. It does not look like skill in the same way that a confident hand or a deliberate touch looks like skill. But it is the foundation underneath all of it. The artists who master stretch are the ones whose work consistently looks clean, even when the style or talent might otherwise be ordinary. The artists who ignore stretch are the ones whose work occasionally looks brilliant and frequently looks inconsistent, and who cannot explain to themselves even why. If your work is inconsistent in ways that you cannot explain, look at your stretching hand first. Not your tattooing hand, your stretching hand. It is doing more work than you give credit for, and it's failing more often than you probably realise. If this is the kind of teaching that you wish you'd been given on day one, then I've built an entire course around exactly this approach. Theory first, mechanics first, causes before symptoms. The link is below. Watch the next lesson on the channel. Either way, I appreciate you being here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.